What up, what up? This is Tunnel for this podcast, and I'm Rock, your host. On today's episode, we have Joy, aka Black Indigo. Joy and I met on Threads. She started talking about one of her WNBA clients, so reached out, and here we are. We'll talk about her time at Howard, how she used to style pageants, and the way she styles her WNBA clients, Te-Hina Pao-Pao and Ty Harris. So you're now entering the Stylist Lounge. The podcast is now part of the Fanatics Creator Program. That means we earn from purchases through our link. I curated a dope storefront for you to shop through for new WNBA merch, NBA merch, NFL merch, doesn't matter. Head over to the link in our description to shop. So for me, I was just on Threads and I seen you and I was like, oh, she styled Pao-Pao?
Yeah.
Oh, then I went to your page and I started looking. I was like, oh, she's fly too. So let's see if we could make this happen.
Yes, for sure. Pao-Pao is my only client. I also styled Tyesha Harris on the Dallas Wings. So, and I'm looking for more clients. So if anybody sees me out there that plays for the WNBA, I'm trying to pick that up.
It's a hot topic right now, especially after the CBA. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we need them W clients." Yeah.
So for sure.
So who did you style first? Ty?
I started styling Ty first. So Ty's from Indiana, and my best friend in Atlanta is also from Indiana, and so they are also best friends.
Okay.
And so I met Ty through my best friend in Atlanta, like one of my best friends in Atlanta, and after that, it was kind of history. We met at her birthday party, and we started working together, and that just led me to like more people after that season. She did get injured during the season when we like got kicked off. So it was unfortunate, but that also like kind of put a fire under my butt to like continue to like reach out, figure out what other clients like I could align with. And then I connected with Pao-Pao, which is just from prospecting. Like I do some prospecting in the off season. So reaching out to different people, talking to them about like what their style is, creating pitch decks, things like that, kind of like some collateral. And then we got kicked off during her off season, so we're gonna move into WNBA season here soon.
Oh, dope. I saw Ty, like we do this thing here called Style Guy where I try to find everything, all the pieces and tell people what they're wearing. So the Kid Super piece is one that I did.
Yes.
So that was really fly. But after she got hurt, they stopped showing her, but you could see her during the game. I'm like, why you didn't post her fit today? I know she's not playing, but she got something on. We want to know.
Yeah. After she got injured, it was just like, it was kind of like a down. It was a battle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like trying to show up while injured and trying to figure that out, like, it comes with a lot of ups and downs. So Ty was just kind of like exhausted, because the surgery, and now I have to go into this training and I have to go into all the repair, but she should be back this season. So that'll be exciting. And hopefully we'll get ramped back up too.
We'll be watching because the way y'all work together is great. You went to Howard.
I did.
You yourself play football.
Yes.
Like, how do all these how do all these worlds like combine and like create you?
Yes. Oh my God, that's so crazy. So I graduated from Howard in 2020 with my bachelor's in business admin with a concentration in marketing. So my whole goal, originally, I wanted to be like a talent agent, to be honest. I did not know what I was going to do post college. And I ended up going into like more social media brand strategy in tech. And so outside of me being a fashion stylist and playing sports and doing all the things, I also work at Google. So, but I work in driving strategy, which just comes to show like how these things kind of come together. Is like my goal with working with different players is to help them really build out what their brand is. It's not just focused on the fashion. I align them with different businesses and different brands that will support ultimately who they want to be on the floor and off the floor. And so creating brand partnerships, being able to drive that finding new brands that are relevant and being able to like collaborate, figure out ways to collaborate and pair the brand so that the brand gets visibility, but also the players have the opportunity to be able to like get fly and align themselves, especially with the social media age. So that's what's important to me. I started styling on Howard's campus. I started doing pageant styling. That was actually my
Okay.
first.
Okay.
Nobody really expects that because I was masked.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really want to do the pageant thing, but I knew so many girls that did. And so I would write their slates. I would get them dressed in their like different looks. And so all the way up to Miss Howard. And then I styled Mr. HBCU after I graduated. And so after that, I was just like, let me break into something new. I love sports. I've played several sports. I was a competitive swimmer. I played softball. I played basketball. I play football currently. So sports has always been something that's like super big in my life. And I wanted to figure out how I could align that passion for sports with everything else that I love to do.
So with the pageant, did someone ask you to do it and you were just like, okay, I'll do it, and then you just went rolling, or were you just like, I'm gonna try something?
No, they asked me to do it.
Okay,
Like
okay.
they were just like, I feel like on campus, I was already known for like fashion and like dressing. I was in like a little mini Howard documentary about fashion, stuff like that. I won a competition about
Mm-hmm.
like being like best dressed on campus, like just like different stuff. So I was like known for fashion a little bit. So somebody just like asked me, like,
To
hey,
do
can
it.
you help me? Yeah, with
I like
the
how you dropped it. I was just in a little documentary and I want best dress. Like,
like it was for
that's
me
fire. That's dope. Like,
on campus, it's like campus stuff,
mm-hmm.
So like now, like post campus, it's really just about like I think being it's such a big pond. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Going
Mm-hmm.
to Howard's, like so many people, so many fly people get that. It's like every day is a fashion show, so you constantly are trying to keep
Mm-hmm.
up. Like I was just trying to keep up. All the things that happen along with me trying to keep up. Like I feel like that was just like divine alignment.
So let's talk about your style. Like, when did you really start developing a style and like, really putting it on and be like, you know what, I do this. Like, this is me.
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like as a kid, I didn't grow up, I didn't come from a background with a lot of money. And so like one of the biggest things that I learned how to do was thrift. And so like every Saturday, I had piano lessons early in the morning. I'm talking 7 a.m. But my mom would have me at a thrift store at 8:30 a.m. And so I
Okay.
would be
Okay.
digging and digging and digging. I think that's when I really like start to really gain the eye for like what looks good, what do I like personally, and then like how to pair things together well. And so I started to kind of develop my own style. It was very much giving like old man shirts, skinny jeans, because
Mm-hmm.
that was the era we were
Mm-hmm.
in. But once I got to college, I think that's really when I started to like truly develop my own style, sense of style, both like masculine and feminine, and like being able to mix those two energies and like really play into both of them very well, silhouettes, things like that. Like I feel like I learned all of those things honestly by being around so many different types of people, culture, um, and I just like picked up little
Little
pieces
pieces here
and
and there.
carried them with me.
If you had to maybe define your style in like a couple of words, like 5 words or less, could you? Quick shout out to our friends at FanWagon. If you're sitting on some merch looking for the perfect jersey or just maybe some vintage pieces to add to your collection, you need to check them out. FanWagon is a marketplace for fans to buy and sell authentic merch. So if you're sitting on some pieces you want to get rid of, or if you're looking to collect something, check them out. Head over to fanwagon.com and join the movement.
Could I? I would say my style is um fluid and very chic. I feel like those are good words. Fluid, chic, and colorful. I feel like those are three good words that describe my style. I think when it comes to like my style, I really look for like silhouettes that look good on me. I am not built like a little slim
Mm-hmm.
lady. I got some thighs and some man. So I had to like make sure, like, even dressing other masculine presenting women, it's like, what's important to you? I go through a whole questionnaire about like how things fit, what type of clothes do they normally wear, what brands do they normally shop. Like, again, going back to that, figuring things out, like you have to kind of dive a little bit deeper in order to like be able to float on both sides of the fence.
Do you have any like general advice for mask people and like kind of like a few things they can do to elevate their closets?
Yeah, I would say when it comes to dressing masculine, and I think this also goes on to like where you are on the spectrum, because I think masculine and femininity falls on the spectrum. So I would say, one, pants, cool pants. Like, that's super important. I feel like if you can find cool pants, you can really make an outfit. Like, you can do simple tops if you have cool pants, or statement pieces. If it's not the pants, because like maybe that feels busy for you, jackets. That's a big thing. Like, I personally really like jackets, or like layering pieces that I find that are like really cool. Making sure that you're not boxy. And when I say that, I mean like big pants, big shirt. Like, I think a lot of times being masculine, we lean away from silhouettes that really like bring out our shape, because it's like that kind of averts the
Right, right. Leans
masculinity.
more towards the feminine.
Right. But we have to wear clothes that fit. Like, and I think that's like the hardest part about like wanting to dress masculine, is like sometimes being like, okay, like, let me put on a shirt that's a little bit more form fitting, that maybe will show off some things that normally I wouldn't show off. But don't be afraid to just try different things. Like, I always tell people, try it on. If you hate it, you can always change it. Like, so just don't be afraid to try different things on and try out different silhouettes. And even occasionally shop in the women's section. Sometimes just having a shorter torso, maybe you need a crop shirt. And the best crop shirt is going to be in the women's section and not in the men's, unfortunately. So that's my best advice.
Experiment and try different things. All right. So if you could add one or two W players to your client list today,
Whew.
who would you pick?
Give me Flau'jae out the draft,
Okay.
for sure, and then Raven from South Carolina.
Okay.
Uh,
So you're going with two rookies. Okay.
Two rookies. I am shooting for the rookies. Like, I love rookies. I feel like that's where you can develop them the most, because they're just getting rolling. And I also have my eyes on Malaysia when she's ready. So whenever she's ready to hit the ground, I feel like the thing about Malaysia is, um she dresses more on the masculine side, like further on the spectrum, I feel like. But I want to see her in some more chic silhouettes of things. So I would be interested in that. Yeah, but those are my two rookies I just have my eyes on. But there's a few other players, that I could also, yeah, work with for sure.
So how would you skate that line with, like, let's say Lay, right, who's pretty masculine, but you may want to experiment, not experiment, but help her expand and kind of look at different things. Like, how do you skate that line with keeping her comfortable, but also daring her to try something a little new?
Yeah, I think I always try to bring multiple things to the table. Like, it's never just one fit or one piece that I generally start with. When I pull items for clients, I'm pulling a plethora of things. So we have the availability to be able to try different things and experiment with different things. But I think the biggest thing is like talking about mindset, right? Being open to trying something new. At the end of the day, clothes right now in the tunnel fits are literally conversation drivers. So they're not only just driving that moment, like, these are conversation pieces. Like, people love to see this. People are going to be talking about it. So it's just another way to grow your brand and to do something different. Like, it's going to stand out. Like, that's just going to be a moment that's going to draw a lot of eyes and attention to you, if you have the ability to be able to shape that. So I always am encouraging, I usually give a safe fit, and then I give some things that like are gonna push the edge, and then we try to marry them in between.
I like that. I think we had another stylist on, and she was saying that the tunnel is a place where you can kind of get to know the player a little bit. Because, like, yeah, you see him on the court, but sometimes in the tunnel, it makes him like a real person, like
Yes,
an extension. Like, oh yeah, they're not just these little people on the court for 90 minutes. They are whole beings, and they
yes.
bring that through in the tunnel.
Yes, for sure. I feel like that's where your personality jumps out. I would say with Pao-Pao, she has a big personality. And I feel like every time I get her tunnel fit pics back, I'm always cackling because she's going to give us personality every time. So, yes, I feel like the tunnel is where players are allowed to show their personality and just like really be themselves. Like, you don't get that every day and you don't get to see those parts of them, like those parts of them on a day-to-day basis. So having that moment where it's just them, is big.
So for like this summer, what do you want to see less of, and what do you want to see more of?
Yeah, so this summer I want to see less of I feel like a lot of the players have been leaning towards like these how do I put this? I've been seeing a lot of like old lady fits.
Mm, I
Um
got it. Yeah.
old lady fits and a lot of like I just been seeing a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. As far as like silhouettes, things like that, shorts, crop top. I think again, this just goes to like body type and stuff like that. Like when you're thinking about basketball players, a lot of players have long legs.
Hmm.
You have to make sure like we're like styling for their body. And so like trying to figure out like what works best sometimes can be difficult when people are not making pants that have inseams that normally fit a
Fit
basketball
athletes.
player
Yeah.
and fit athletes. So knowing that, like I understand why it's difficult, but like we just need to lean away from bad fits in general. Like sometimes it just doesn't make sense. I don't want to see a whole bunch of rhinestones on everything. Let's take it away. Um yeah, I think those are the big things. I want to see more of smaller brands. I want to see more black owned brand visibility. And then I want to see more clothes that actually fit. Like to be
Hmm.
honest, like
Hmm.
there's a lot of times I see players in items that just don't fit. It doesn't fit them and it doesn't fit their body. So I just want to see more people like dress for those things.
What's like a misconception about being a stylist that you're like, that is not true? We don't really do that.
They be thinking I'm rich.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I get money, but baby, like, I still gotta pay the team. Like, I don't do my job alone. I will say that. I have an intern, I have a PR person, we work very closely. It's definitely a hard and difficult job. I have to pull pieces and get them to these players back to back to back to back to back to back to back. And sometimes that can be difficult. Players have their own mind too. They don't want to wear some of the stuff sometimes, or they may not like something. And so, like, being able to like quickly pivot and having to stay on our toes. Like, people think this is like just easy. It's just a fit. They just throwing a fit. Oh, no, it takes a lot of deep research. I have to build relationships with brands. I have to reach out and reach out and reach out and reach out and reach out again sometimes to make sure things are delivered on time. I have to come out of my own pockets a lot of time to get these players their looks when they're busy and don't respond because they have practice or they have whatever else they have going on. So I think there's a lot of yeah, yeah. There's a lot of
I think it's probably really, really glamorous, which it is,
it's
but
very
there's a lot of
glamorous.
behind the scenes work that you got to put in.
Okay, it is a gritty job. It is a gritty job, and you have to like, you kind of have to like get in there and be okay with like hearing the hard things when like things don't work out or things are not going to be shipped on time or they're not going to arrive on time because of the snow. Like the whole winter time, some pieces didn't get there. Like I'm thinking they're going to get there, they didn't get there. What do I do? Now I have to think about other options. So like being able to pivot fast is very glamorous, but like it's a lot of work. So if you think you want to
You
be,
were in Atlanta, right?
so I'm actually not located in Atlanta anymore.
Okay.
I just relocated to Detroit, Michigan.
Shit, okay.
Detroit now, but I am back and forth from
Okay.
here in Atlanta.
Of the Google. Hello. I
Yes,
went to college in Detroit, and I had quite a few people friends that worked at Google. So,
yes, yes,
got
yes.
it.
I work in the Ann Arbor office, so I'm actually not even. I don't work in.
Okay.
The city. I live in the city.
Okay. How long have you been there?
6 months.
Do you like it?
It's interesting. I would say, like, I think the culture here. One, I was born in Detroit. We
Okay.
started here.
Okay.
I'm a
Okay.
24 baby, but I moved to Atlanta when I was 5, and so majority of my life I've lived in Atlanta. So for me, it was a culture shock as far as like the queer community is very small and
Mm-hmm.
it's just not a lot going on here. So we gonna have to pick that up. I need somebody to pick up the baton and pass. Um, the community in general is just small though, but that's good, right? It's good and bad. I say it's good and bad. The good parts are there's a lot of building that happens here, building of community, building of like new ideas, building of like relationships, all of those things because it's so close knit. Like you kind of have to get out there and build those things here, and it's I feel like it's a good breeding ground for like growth, while Atlanta is like more well established. And so it's easy to go out there and then manage relationships based off the things that you've built. So I kind of went backwards because I started somewhere where it's like you can manage all these relationships and meet
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and it's like very easy to a city that it's a little bit more difficult. You kind of have to get out there and like figure out where the people are. But I think once you find your community, like once I personally find my community, I'll be
You'll be fine. Yeah. Detroit is cool. I was there a couple weeks ago for the StockX 10-year anniversary. So
yeah,
hung out in the city for the day. It was 313 day too, so it was a
yeah,
lot going on. I
yeah.
enjoyed myself.
Funny
But
you
yeah,
stop for 313 Day. StockX was actually one of my clients. I missed their 10-year anniversary party though. I wasn't feeling good.
just like I was cold emailing everybody like I need to be on this list, and then
Yeah,
finally they was like, "All right, come." I was like, "Yes."
yeah.
All right.
I love
But yeah,
that.
it was nice. Let's see what else we got. The Billboard experience. Talk us through that and like how you felt, what your role in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was an assistant stylist on Kai Cenat's team for Billboard, and that was my first time working with his team. So crazy. I did not know it was for Billboard originally. Like when I got booked for the job, I just knew I was styling with his like main stylist that worked for AMP, which is the agency that he's under, or I think he's still under AMP. So or AMP. So at the time, I was just like looking for new things. When I generally spend a lot of time working in tech, but during this time period, I wasn't working in tech. I was only styling. And so I had like gone on these periods of time where it was like, okay, well, I'll just lean more into my craft with the economy and layoffs and all the things happening. And so I hopped on his team and it was crazy. It was a crazy experience. I think seeing the fact that we need more black photographers, one, because it's so important, especially when it comes to like lighting, things like that. I think those are other things that people don't think about when it comes to being a stylist, but you don't just think about what the person has on, you also think about how it's going to show up and like what exactly that's going to present and what messages is going to present. So making sure that he had looks that like stood out, and they didn't really give us like knowledge of what the background was going to be. They ended up making a really dark background, but now we have dark clothes that don't
Mm,
really stand
okay.
out, in the background. So I think, yeah, it was interesting. It was a fun time. I think I had a good time, very long, 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 long hours. And I worked on a few other things with his team. So I worked on a commercial for Tone. I worked on his Batman stream, and I think one more other thing with his team. So I continued to work with them for a little while I was still in Atlanta. Um, but it was all really great experiences. You get to learn a lot of different things by like I said, just trying your hands at different things. Yeah.
I like that. That's dope. That shoot was dope. When I seen it on your page, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Your page is fire, and it gave me a lot of insight. I was like, all right, I know what I'm going to talk about. We'll ask about this. We'll ask about that, but just aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. And I just joined there is a girl here that works for the Pistons that has a creators club. So I
Okay.
just joined their creators club in Detroit. So I'm excited about that because I think that's going to push me to like continue to make content. Sometimes I can be a little slow in hanging on to my content, but like it's just because I just do so much that it's like editing a video just seems so taxing. Like I'd be burnt out by the time I'm home. And like
Mm-hmm.
I done styled people, I done did a whole day at Google. My brain is fried. So editing content just seems crazy, but I'm trying to push myself this year to like continue to put myself out there, continue to drop content, continue to let people in a little bit on my life and kind of my work and my process. So yeah.
My tough question. Your top five best dressed WNBA players. It could be past or present. We won't go future, just past or present.
Okay. Let's say Don Stanley, Enrique
Mm-hmm.
right
Sucks
now.
to have Enrique.
Enrique be doing her thing. I can't lie. Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let me think who else. Angel Reese. Okay, let's talk about this really quick. I just need to drop this. Angel Reese, I was so scared of her when she first got into the WNBA. I was like, what is happening? I was mad. Revolve was like running her show. Like, I was like, we have to get her out of this. Like, we have to get her out of this. She came back with a full rebrand that was so tea. And
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, somebody's in the booth. Somebody's been cooking. So I will give Angel Reese her flowers. I like her rebrand and like I feel like whoever is working on her team has also really paired her with um things that make sense for her brand to like
Mm-hmm.
continue to push her brand. I think she did a collaboration with Kids Super and Reese's Puffs and they had like a Reese's Puff like duffel bag, and I thought that was so dope. Like for them to like play off the
Right.
word
It's very
grenade
fitting.
and
Yeah.
like just be very fitting. So you can tell her team has like really been trying to push the needle forward. I think so. Yeah, I want to give her her flowers because that was a crazy rebrand, but I'm so here for it. And let me think who else because we got past, present. I'm trying to think who else presently I would give some love to. I think her name is Jewel.
Jewel Lloyd.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I like Jewel.
I think that's my lineup.
That's your five. Okay, that's a nice five. I think for personally, I always gotta have Enrique in there. Like
Yeah.
Enrique and Skylar are two that I
Okay,
usually in my
Skylar.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Skylar does her thing too.
But yeah, Jewel. I think Jewel might be the first time we heard Jewel since I've been asking this question. So I like that. We could talk about like styling different personalities. Like how different is a tie from a Pao-Pao, or are they like kind of similar, but you just got to tweak it a little bit?
Vastly different.
Okay. Okay.
Vastly different. Me and Pao Pao are still figuring it out, like getting it perfect. We've done some good looks, but I'm still trying to get to that like great mark of like in between like what she thinks she should look like, what actually makes sense, and then like how to make sure like brands are committing to the looks that she wants to. Because I think a lot of it also is about like what's already there and the foundation is being laid, especially when having conversations with brands about like why they should be giving her stuff or like why, we want, to pull from their like wardrobe. So making sure like we continue to move that forward. But Ty is very much like more laid back and very opinionated and also takes the opinions of like other like her partner, things like that. So when working with Ty, like I like to give Ty a little bit more say so.
Okay. Okay.
A little bit more say so. She takes a little bit more convincing to like try different things and like wear things that are like outside of her comfort zone. So sometimes it just takes a little bit more, but very chill, very laid back, more masculine leaning. So definitely a little bit more comfortable. And then Pao-Pao, this is like more feminine and masculine.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we do like feminine looks where she's like, I'll wear heels, I'll do all the things. And then sometimes it's like, okay, I want to wear like, baggy fit jersey type vibe. So we're still playing on both of those. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm like slowly starting to like build up her wardrobe so that we have things that like make
Well,
sense.
yeah. What are some brands that you really like and that you wish other people knew about?
Yeah, I would say Kid Super. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people slept on him. I have a Kid Super archive bag that I've had since 2021, maybe. Maybe even before that. Maybe 2019. Let's say. Drop the bag. It's a handbag.
Okay.
And I just think like he's so genius the way that he like creates marries like art and fashion is
Mm.
just like chef's kiss. So I will always hype Kid Super up. Nobody can get that bag. People have been trying to buy that bag off of my body.
I know. I know.
So that's why I will always give Kid Super their flowers. As far as like black owned brands are concerned, let me think. Um Personally enjoy like Honor the Gift. I think sometimes they can come with some like very clean silhouettes and some things that are like a little different. So they a very cultured brand. Um, Also Paper Planes, um, another one that gives a lot of like really clean silhouettes, black owned. I don't know if people know, owned by NBA player. Let me think who else. Right now, I'm wearing my Fat Boy swag hat.
Mm-hmm.
So I like a lot of small brands. Like I try to make sure like I get them visibility too. Crafted World. Um, he's an artist as well. I will say he kind of plays into the Kid Super lane, but
Okay.
he is black. He's a black artist, and he does a lot of collaborations with like Converse, but he's still like figuring out like how to fully break in. But like his clothes, like when he does drops, like very smart and very artistic. So I enjoy that. Um, who else? Naked Wardrobe for the girls that need a good suit, a good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, eat down, okay? I'll give them their flowers because they have some crazy suits, crazy silhouettes. I'm talking about extended shoulders. It's just like the most perfect silhouette you can probably find on a suit to pair on a woman. To like really accentuate like her curves, her body. Even like they have prints and different stuff like that. That's really great. ATO, I like their shades, their glasses, their accessories brand. I really will pull from them. He was one of the youngest black designers in Nordstrom. And so like he's helped me with stuff with WNBA players all the way to like people that I've styled on Broadway. Definitely love him, Latif. He can always get a shout out. And then most recently, Wisdom of Age,
Mm-hmm.
New York. Um, I think that when they originally dropped like their polos, um, they caught my eye. But like learning a little bit more about the brand and the background of like what they have going on, um, and why I like their story. and yeah, I can appreciate their clothes. And then let me think who else. Um, I think it's called um, Only from Brazil. I will have to fact check that one. But it's another young black designer. So good. So good. He does a lot of cut and sew, but the silhouettes are great. He does a lot of like, I would say, like wax denim. He does a lot of denim. Denim is really, really, really good. So I think it's called Only from Brazil, though. Those would be my shout outs. I mean, I like classic brands. I like stuff like Telfar and
Mm-hmm.
I like the little Telfar book bag, the little Telfar duffel. But like for the most part, those brands that I talked about, like I think those are like my hidden gems.
Okay, that's a tight list. I think there's only like one or two that I'm not familiar with, but I know most of that list. So yeah, I think there's two mask presenting brands that are led by mask presenting people, Phase and Formal Set.
I like
So
this.
yeah, I like Phase too.
Yeah.
Um, Watching
Um,
them grow was crazy.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think when Phase dropped, like they had like a hood that they dropped, and it's like
Hmm.
a hooded scarf
Yep. 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 Yep.
with different stuff. Like I was like that. That was one thing that definitely caught my eye. I was like, oh, they're doing something over
It's different. It's fire too. It's like okay.
here. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, okay, okay. One other brand, ADW. They make the Gami bag, which is kind of like a Margiela bag.
Hmm.
They're black owned, but they also make tartan hats, where you can like tie the hat in different
Yes. 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 Yes.
ways.
Yes.
So yeah, I really like their brand too. They also graduated from Howard, so yeah, shout out to them.
Oh, I just looked at them yesterday.
Yes.
Because I was like, oh, I like this. Somebody posted it. And I was like, oh, I like that. Let me go check it out. But everything was sold out. I was like, of course.
Yeah,
But yeah,
no,
yeah, I
like
did
yeah,
check them out. Yeah.
you gotta get drops very limited.
Yeah.
But when I tell you quality is there every single time, so yeah, shout out to Adriana because yeah, she's been doing her thing since Howard's.
So what can we expect for you for the rest of this year? Anything major you want to shout out or any goals you have?
Yeah, I think my main goal is again to get a few more clients. Ultimately, I'm waiting for Detroit. You know, we're in the middle of draft expansion where
Mm-hmm.
we're like picking
Mm-hmm.
up new cities and things like that. So, like, I am in the middle of like looking more deeply into who is getting drafted. Like, my goal is to have like a roster of rookies essentially. Well, they some of my rookies probably won't be rookies anymore by the time Detroit gets their
Right.
W.
Right.
To continue to expand that. And then over the year, I am styling for Hell's Kitchen, Alicia Keys' Hell's Kitchen on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
I have a client that is on Broadway doing that run for that show. So I'll be styling that in LA. So that would be big. And then as far as like the year is concerned, I really don't know. I don't do year planning, so I don't know what's in store this year, but I will say, you know, WNBA season is around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
We got the draft April 3rd. We about to get it started and popping. So I'm really excited to see who gets drafted where and then what makes sense as far as like continue to just build my relationships um up. So
Okay. I asked another stylist this, but I want to hear your point of view. Got to finish this sentence. Style is.
style is an expression of your identity.
That's it. Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by. And we'll be watching to see what you do with the Ty and Te-Hina and see who else you get on your roster because the looks have been fire.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited that this season. I'm excited. I'm excited for all my players to be back and for them girls to get paid. Okay, get my
Mm-hmm.
girls their coin
Give
because
them their
that was a
money,
long time ago. Okay.
dude. Listen, I was like, are we gonna get a season? I low key wanted them to strike for like a day just to be like, don't play with me. But I'm glad they figured it out.
Same. I did low key want them to go and strike a little bit.
Yeah, just a
I
little.
just wanted to make them scared.
Yeah,
Like they might have got an extra dollar or two.
maybe just a little bit. Like, okay, it's been 3 days. We was just kidding.